I call it Housing Estates and Imitation Miami. Quickly, long, terrible conditions in the Caribbean in the 1930s. They sent out this commission of inquiry to find out why the people were so dissatisfied, why were these riots and strikes and killings, and why did they have to send these warships behind the people of the West Indies. And this guy, an amazing character, Lord Moyne, his report that he wrote was so damning that when Churchill and them got it at the beginning of the Second World War in 1940, they banned it, they suppressed it, because the Goebbels and the Nazis were on the lookout for anything that put the British Empire in a bad light, whether it was India, West India. So they banned the report. It came out in 1945, and it said that the conditions in the islands were really absolutely terrible, and they have to raise money to be able to provide new facilities. This is one of the products. That's the Jodelle Primary School, been going for years, since the early 1950s. The old one-school wooden rooms were all over the place. And so, poor Moyne, he did such a good job for the West Indies, they sent him to try to make peace in Palestine, and the Jews blew him up. So, poor fellow. Anyway, the thing is that his report, the Moyne Commission report, really did a lot for the West Indies. Here's the old hospital on the site of where the government headquarters is now, and it's entirely wood. Some of it was stone below at the back, but this was the hospital, Hillswood Street and Bath Road. Then they decided, Moyne Commission, Colonial Development and Welfare Funds, build a new hospital. They bought the whole of Goodwill Estate, and they began building the hospital. Yeah? 1956, a cost of $342,000 a month. $3,100. I mean, of course, finance was very different in those days. Value of money. Here it is being built. There it is. Because they had wonderful ventilation. But the problem was, the ventilation was great, but the security against the hurricane was not. And, as I said, the balance is having to deal with both. This is the hospital going up. No houses have yet been constructed around it, although they're preparing everything. Roseau people were very vexed, very furious that they were going to take the hospital and put it in the bush, up in the country. And there was a body of people in Roseau that were very angry that this is what the government was going to do. But luckily they did. And then, of course, the housing that was constructed at Goodwill was, of course, a completely new brand. As I said, mostly copying Florida architecture. The roofs were not as well tied in. They were very low, and they did serve their purpose very well, and the regulations were very, very strict. There must be bungalows. There must be one-family bungalows. That regulation is still in Oakville, and we see apartment blocks going up. Soon there'll be more apartment blocks. Because people will say, oh, those people have apartment blocks, we'll build apartment blocks. Where's the parking? No parking regulations, nothing. So the planning of Goodwill was excellent. This is looking across before the Botanic Gardens in Cape, and the whole of Goodwill Plantation also in sugarcane. And bit by bit, 1947, they bought the 434 acres, and this is one of the first pictures with the early Pottersville being developed, and then going up into the lower Goodwill area, and the pictures of the bulldozers cutting the lanes and the gaps, as they call them, all up through Goodwill. And low-cost housing, this was Shillingford Crescent, named after H.G. Shillingford. The early housing that was constructed, and of course it doesn't look anything like that now, because people added and put extras and whatever. And this is a great thing, because having these single houses enables space. Now we're putting people in apartments, and the possibilities of growth are limited. So Goodwill remains the best designed housing scheme. We have Federation Drive, we have the hospital, commercial area, lower income, middle income, larger lots going up there, and then eventually development of Bath Estate. So it really excellently planned. Okay? And now, future historians are going to look back and they're going to comment on this. And we will see how it looks. Not all of them are as compact as this, although we have a set going down just the road here. But it certainly is. I want to find out who these architects are, because certainly they have no relationship at all to the natural environment. There is no leeway is given for movement of ventilation, anything. And what I noticed just the other day, I got my second jab vaccination and I went to the Wesley Clinic. And I don't want to bad talk people's clinic, but plan it. The windows open 4 inches. They open this way 4 inches. There's a main door that faces east, where the rain comes from, no canopy, no overhang. The ramp for people in wheelchairs and so was an afterthought. So then you go on and you continue on the side, the big main door opens up like that, so you have to close the big main door to pass your wheelchair. I mean, it's sad. I'm not vexed, it's sad. So we'll see what happens then. And so I end with a painting of where Miss Charles's offices are now. And the one Karam building over at the back, behind there. Reminding us of the traditional architecture of Dominica, and reminding us of the different phases through which it went. But always remembering that those persons who designed the buildings to be in tune with the island environment designed the best buildings throughout the last 250 or so years. Thank you very much.